Hello. It's story time with Kelly. I thought I'd entertain all of you in this time of quarantine in your homes or wherever you are. So I have a story to tell you today. It's based on this book. It's called From Prison to Praise by Merlin Carothers. A good friend of mine introduced me to this again 30 years later after I had read it the first time in my 20s and then again in my 50s. I was introduced to this again by a great friend named Penny, and we started ordering a lot of these copies for really inexpensive and giving them away to people. So I might have given you one. If I have and you haven't read it, get on it. It's really good. So I have a story to tell based on this book. And as you can see, my husband and I love his books. We read a lot of them. There's one missing called Power and Praise that I left in Africa last year when I went. So we're on this one right now, Praise Works, and I've flagged a lot of my favorites. So my husband was reading to me this morning, as he does every morning, from this book, or whatever book, and lo and behold, we were tested. So this book, as you know, is all about being thankful and thankful and grateful in every circumstance, no matter what. It's based on many verses in the Bible. So basically, like, if I lost my keys or something, I'd say, oh, instead of getting really upset and I was late to something and I couldn't find them, I'd say, oh, thank you, God, that I lost my keys. Thank you, God, that you're going to work it out for my good. And the point of it is to not be silly or weird or to be thankful because you've done something bad or something bad happened, but the point is to have joy no matter what. So it sounds weird to say thank you that I lost my keys or thank you that I had a bad day, but the point is to have joy, because if we have joy in the midst of our circumstances, we attract good things to ourselves and we feel good, and that makes our day go better. So I want to tell you a little story. So after reading this book this morning, we were tested. My husband came to me a little later after our reading time and was distraught because he had lost a lot of money that he had put somewhere, a lot of money, and he was very upset. And I said, oh, so I hung up the phone and then I texted him real quickly and I said, thank you, God, that I lost the money. Thank you that you're going to work it out for my good. I just sent him a little reminder, and he said it. Of course, he said it without me reminding him, because we're reading all these books all the time. We have to prove what we've learned. And so we went about our day. We went somewhere. He was very distraught, but he was having a good attitude about it. And he said, thank you, God, anyway. I know you're gonna work it out for my good, even if I lost a large amount of money. So we went about our day, and I said, honey, did you lock the desk like you said you were going to a few weeks ago? He's like, no, I didn't lock it, darn it. And I have my workers coming in and out. And I said, ooh, well, he said, I know. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to move things around and use a lockbox and do things differently. So then we went to a meeting with our daughter, and we told her this story, and we told her that we could have had a fight. We could have gotten really upset about it, but we didn't. And Troy told our daughter that he had remained calm, and after he'd gotten a little upset at first, he decided to thank the Lord and remain calm and know that God was going to work it out. And she said, gosh, Dad, thanks for telling me that. That really helped me. And so that was really good. So then we came home, and he went about his day, and he asked his workers, did you take the money? And lo and behold, he had a little camera set up in his office, and he said, I'm going to look at the camera later, so just tell me if you took it. Well, they said, no, we didn't take it. So he started looking through his camera for a long time, and all the videos he recorded on that system he has, and he didn't see anything. But maybe like 30 minutes later, I was standing at my kitchen sink, and a thought popped into my head, and I said, I wonder if he just misplaced that money somewhere. I just wonder. I bet he did, And I was just thinking about it, and then sure enough, 30 minutes later, he comes in the house and he's smiling, and he said, I have something to tell you. And I said, I bet I know what it is. He said, yeah, I misplaced the money. I forgot where I'd put it. I feel really bad. I feel really silly. I said, oh, it's okay, honey. We learned a really good lesson. So just want to tell you that little story, that it's really good to be thankful in all things. Not everything always turns out great like this did, but one thing that we learned, we learned a really good lesson to change the way we do things, where we put money, do we lock the door or not, and lock the drawer or not. And we also learned, our daughter learned a good lesson from it. And so, in my opinion, God allowed that to happen and maybe orchestrated it so we could learn this great lesson the easy way. And she could hear a great story, and y'all could hear a great story, because I've realized that God comes and nudges us gently at first and says, you need to lock that drawer, or you need to take care of this. And then it might get a little harder, like, oh, I lost some money. But if we don't learn, it might get really hard, and we might really lose that money and get broken into or something. I mean, God is going to continue to nudge us until we learn what we need to know. And there's one little phrase in this book I want to end on. It's not easy to hear, but it's really true in my opinion. It says, problems are needed only until we learn what we need to know. We are then free to go on to more important things. Wow, I'm going to repeat that. Problems are needed only until we learn what we need to know. We are then free to go on to more important things. So bless you all. I hope you have wonderful quarantine.